I have spent the last 10 years of my life working toward becoming financially independent. And every time I meet someone new and I tell them about this goal of mine, they almost always react in the same way. And they say something along the lines of, what are you going to do with your life? And you will be bored with all that extra time on your hands. And honestly, I don't understand how anyone can think this way. I don't understand, like, how is it possible to believe that it's better to be working 40 hours a week in an office than it is to be able to do whatever you want with your time and your life. And I truly believe that if you need your employer to tell you how to spend your days and how to spend your life, you have some serious self work to do, and you need to get started on this self work as soon as possible. And when I hear this reaction, I always wonder, why is this the first thing that comes to their mind? Why do they think that I will be bored if I have time to do whatever I want with my life? And I think it's because there is a bigger underlying issue with the way that we live our lives in modern society today. I feel like a lot of people have completely lost their curiosity and their identity because work has consumed their whole lives, and now they're kind of like dependent on other people telling them what to do, and they have no clue what to do if they have too much time on their hands. And this is probably why we see so many people distract themselves as soon as they get off from work. It is very common nowadays that people, as soon as they get off from work and it's time for the weekend, they get drunk, or they just watch movies, or they scroll TikToks, and basically they are doing everything they can to not think their own thoughts and process their own emotions, because if they actually sat down and were bored, it would become very real to them that they are not living the life that they actually dream of living. And for me, financial independence and financial freedom is not about, being on a permanent vacation and not doing anything productive with your life. For me, financial independence is about having freedom of choice. It's about having flexibility and opportunities in your life where you can actually do what gives you energy and what you want to do, and you can avoid doing things that you don't want to do. And I don't see how that can ever be a bad situation to be in, where you have opportunities and you can do whatever you want with your life. You can still work if you want. There's no one telling you to quit your 9 to 5 job if you genuinely like it. But then on the other hand, if you really don't like your job and it really drains your energy and makes you stressed and unhappy, you have the option to quit that job and do whatever you want with your life, and do something that actually gives you energy and is meaningful to you and fulfilling to you and that you're passionate about. And I just don't see how that can ever be a bad situation to be in. And another important point is that I don't think we should be so afraid of being bored every once in a while. I feel like this world is trying to do everything that it can to prevent people from being bored. And what does being bored actually mean? That means that you have time to sit down and think your thoughts through and process your emotions and take inventory of your life and what you're actually doing with it. And nowadays we are just so busy with working all the time, answering email all the time, scrolling on social media, watching Netflix and stuff like that. And I think that is one of the reasons why people are afraid of being bored, is because if they were actually bored, they would have to deal with their thoughts and their emotions and actually reflect upon, okay, what kind of life is it that I'm living? And is this the life that I actually want to be living? And if it's not, then what can I do to change it? But people don't want to be in that situation because they don't want to deal with taking responsibility of their own lives. It's much easier just having your employer telling you what to do 40 hours per week so you don't have to decide it for yourselves. But I just know with myself that I would much rather be bored every once in a while, that I would be stressed out about having to pay my bills and be stressed out about working at a job where I don't really enjoy working. I think it's a much better problem to have, to be bored and to try to figure out what you want to do with your life, than to be stressed out and forced to work at a job where you don't like working. And I have just noticed in my own life that my happiness and my stress levels are a direct result of how much work I have to do that I don't want to do. If I have to spend a lot of my time working on things that don't interest me and drains my energy, I tend to be quite unhappy and stressed about it. But on the other hand, if I have a lot of time where I can work on things that I'm passionate about and that gives me energy and that I feel have like a positive impact on the world, when I have time to do those things, I tend to be very happy and experience very low levels of stress. So for me, it's the more freedom and independence I have in my life, the happier I feel and the less stress I feel. So my goal in this life is to have my days scheduled around my priorities and not someone else's. I want to be able to do what I want with whom I want and for as long as I want. And I want to be able to wake up without an alarm clock, and I want to be able to be in a situation where I don't have to answer to anyone that I don't want to answer to. And of course, I'm not saying that becoming financially independent will like all of a sudden solve all of your problems. I know that taking full responsibility of your own life and deciding what to do with your days and your time is not an easy thing to do. Having too much freedom also comes with its challenges. It's not like the solution to all your problems in your life to have ultimate freedom. But I also think that it's a much better problem to have, trying to figure out what it is that you enjoy doing in this life, than being forced to work at a job that you don't like and that is unhealthy for you and that stresses you out. That it is just a better problem to have freedom than to be trapped, in my opinion. And with that said, thank you very much for watching this video. And I think if you enjoyed watching this video, you will probably also enjoy watching this video where I talk about what I learned from reading 45 different books on personal finance. And yeah, thank you so much for watching the video and see you in the next one.